Mexico's traditional Day of the Dead has a new twist as the capital city put on its first ever parade, inspired by James Bond's Spectre. Tens of thousands of people crowded along Mexico City's Avenida Reforma to watch floats featuring skeletons, traditional dancers, and musical groups. The government called the parade part of a new multifaceted campaign to bring tourists to Mexico during the annual Day of the Dead holiday.
My husband and I are here to celebrate the annual Dia de los Muertos festival. We are college professors and we share a lot of this culture with our students in Dallas. It's the day of death, to celebrate death, which is all of our
You Edomites are deaf.
futures. We're all going to be on the other side sooner or later. And also, we want to remember those who have passed on before us.
Fused with Catholic festivals of All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, the Day of the Dead is one of the most deep-rooted traditions in Mexico, celebrated by millions who set up altars with photographs of the dead, gather at their loved ones' gravesides, and drink, sing, and talk to the dead. But the newest celebrations have proved a success, with this spectator saying, "Today is the first Day of the Dead parade. This is something very new in Mexico City. We have never had anything like this, and all of us Mexicans are very happy that the government has made an effort to do something special for us today." And they've got Bond to thank for that.
Kolo, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The one said, "Men, I get life for this truth. The then Yahushai shall rise first." The one said, "Elders, a great millstone that taught us the truth, that taught me the truth." And now she buzz out there, teaching to the house of David, the 144,000, the church of the saints, men, women, and children that consist of the elect. We're basically going to go into touch on a little subject on Halloween, because it's October 30th, which Halloween is a satanic and is evil. It's against the scriptures, you know. And now people hear this, they're following it. It basically is when the thinnest line of the veil of the spirit world and the physical realm is at its thinnest. And basically they say the spirits cross over to the physical realm and actually conjuring up them spirits. That's why you have the costumes, which people would have put on costumes, but they don't know that the Druids will actually wear evil looking costumes to actually control the spirits, make sure they keep them under control. That's what all that goes down to, man. So when you're wearing your evil ass costumes and you're actually inaugurating and summoning up them spirits, you know, contacting spirits, playing the Ouija board, you know, that's wicked. But basically it's heavy because in Worcester, England, is where they have this Stonehenge. And what the Druids would do, right? We have a video over here of the Druids, right? Which you had the Celts, which were the warriors, and you had the Druids. And what they would do is they would knock on people's doors, the nobles, and would say trick or treat. And the nobles are the people of the neighborhood would actually have to bring them a servant so they can actually sacrifice the human. And if they didn't do it, they put a curse on the household. That's where you get the whole term trick or treat. And this thing is very serious, man. Over in the British Isles and over there in Britain, this is heavy out there, man. This is real heavy out there. And it's heavy because Britain's moving 800 tanks and getting ready to shoot missiles upon America. Set this place ablaze and on fire. See how this thing is very spiritual, man. But basically, it's like a 3-day fire festival from the 29th to the 31st. And they say it really starts on October 13th, going into the numerologies, whatever. And what they would do is with the pumpkins, like you got the whole, they call it corpse candles, you know. And what they would do is they'll cut up the pumpkins and they'll fill it in with human actual fat. See, this thing is very serious. They'll sacrifice children, you know. Which over here in Stonehenge, we're gonna play the clip. In Stonehenge, they say that just in that place alone, I believe a couple of thousand of those human sacrifices on there alone. Because that's what the Druids would do. Be upon the groves, be under the groves. Go upon stone hedges, do their ceremonies in a circle. This thing is very serious, man. You know? And what they would do is they'll have something called the Wicker Man. And they'll basically sacrifice to the tall image of the Wicker Man. Which that goes back to Nimrod in Babylon. Which the Halloween goes back to Samhain. Which goes back to Nimrod, Babylon. Which goes back to paganism. Which our people are not supposed to be following, man. And they'll have something called apple bops. What they will do is they'll have the water boiling for 4 or 5 hours. It was 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and you will have to actually go and bite the apple. Now, you know how people in the churches say Eve bit out the apple, which that's not even in the scriptures. She bit the apple. What they will do is they'll line them up. They'll get to like 12 prisoners, and then they'll say, "All right, we'll get you. We won't sacrifice you if you can get this apple." That's where you get the whole bobble apple from. And they'll boil the water at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. It will remind you it's boiling for 4 or 5 hours. So if you didn't do that, you got put to death, regardless. So the people that did try to get the apple, if you didn't, they mind you, they got 12 prisoners. Showing you going into numerology, it's 12 months, 12 tribes, 12 hours PM, 12 hours AM. You see? You have Yahushua, the King of Kings, with 12 disciples. So what they will do is they'll try to bite the apple, and it will be so hot that it will blind them, deaf. They'll be deaf. And then consuming the apple in the hot water will burn up their insides, burn their face, burn their neck. You see? And if they refuse it, they'll torture them and burn them up. But now they have the abortion clinics and all that, so our people willingly sacrifice. They willingly sacrifice, man, to the damn fire gods, man, which they call the fire gods. Molech, Baal. It's all the same shit. Baphomet, the horn gods. You know, so this thing goes back. This thing is very serious, and here it is, our people not knowing, but you actually invoking them spirits, man. You're actually invoking them demonic spirits to come over and consume you and your household and your family and your loved ones. We won't play this out though. Stonehenge.
By peace and love.
It's the Druids.
Heart to heart and hand in hand. Mark, O spirits, and hear us now, confirming this our sake.
See these wizards, man. These wizards, witches, and warlocks. This is serious. You see, this is a spring equinox, but they have their Halloween satanic rituals. That's what the Illuminati has set up on the left-hand side. You know, this thing is very serious. The origins of these so-called holidays is very evil and it's very wicked. And it goes back to paganism, sun worship, and ultimately fire gods, and all that goes back to sun worship and the Star of Nimrod, which was 8 rays coming out the sun. That's what they into, and they're heavily into it, and they sincerely are into their wickedness. That's what we're battling. We're battling spiritual wickedness in high places. Ephesians 6.
At the going down of the sun, and in the morning.
England, you see that? And they sacrifice people. They're human sacrifices. I believe 4,000, 5,000. They estimated people being sacrificed, man. This thing is very serious, man. That's why the Rothschilds, at least, they want this new world order. They got to sacrifice, what, 7 billion to 500 million. That's 6.5 billion people. And it's the majority of you Israelites, because you're the threat. Because the kingdom of heaven that's next is for you. Yahushua is coming for you, for his people. And they know this. They have Agenda 21 Georgia Guidestones. You see, the Georgia Guidestones tells them to populate the population of 500 million. So that's that blood sacrifice is saying. But here it is, our people willingly sacrifice their children. We're going to bring the scriptures out, man. Sacrificing your children, their sons and daughters, to Molech, Baal. Human sacrifices.
We shall.
I think 9/11. It was an inside job. That was an inside job. That was a blood sacrifice to Satan. 9/11. That was a blood sacrifice, man. You know?
And in the morning, we shall remember.
That's why in the buildings, in the stones, in the building, you will actually see demonic faces on the buildings. Because it was an actual blood sacrifice to Satan. That's why 3,000 Jewish people took off that day. You see?
Remember them. And we shall honour them. And what we're talking about is certain cremated human remains taken from this circle from over there with the intention of possibly putting them in a museum. It is our intention to see them reburied. We are also talking here about skeletons.
These Druids had power, man. You couldn't get married without them. You know? You couldn't get higher up in the status without their blessing. The Druids, man.
Remains and cremated human remains in trophy cabinets up there in the visitor centre. We want them reburied in the fullness of time. We are not against them studying for science and for education. What we are against is them keeping them out in perpetuity. They were laid to rest. They should remain at rest, and we have conducted a 5-year campaign thus far, and we will continue until they are returned.
See, they're watering it down. They ain't really showing what they doing, man. You know? So you got the antler heads. They ain't really showing what they doing, man. But behind closed doors, man, they doing some evil satanic shit at night. They come out. The Hills of Terror in Ireland. These devils are just doing it in the spring equinox. You had one of the highest holy days for these devils too. May Day, Illuminati birthday. Beltan. Rituals. Mayban magic, spring equinox. We're celebrating the half light, the half darkness. That's why you had the darkness in Puerto Rico. See, these devils are doing their witchcraft and sorcery. We want to bring the scriptures out. Deuteronomy 28:9. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abomination of those heathens nations. Because that's these devils, man. They're worshiping the sun, going into paganism. All right, all these heathen nations, the Egyptians too. Sun god Ra, Amun Ra, which they will call the Most High. Sun god Ra, worshiping the sun. Call it as above, so below. Because they believe if they imitate the celestials, they will get power from the celestials up on above. That's where the Masons get that saying, as above, so below. Thou shalt not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that use of divination. You had the Temple of Baal that came in New York. Or an observer or times, or an enchanter or a witch. Witchcraft, sorcery, brujos, warlocks. It's all the same thing, man. Or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. And necromancer is one of the highest forms. That's like the highest level, man. They actually deal with the dead, man. They actually deal with the dead. Actually have something that have sex with the dead. Popping little boys, that's the highest form of witchcraft too. Alex de Crawley said that. For all waiting these Roman Catholic priests, what's the number of Druids anyway? They're having sex with little boys, man. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations, the Lord thy God drove them out before thee. This is an abomination. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. For these nations which thou shalt possess, hearken unto observer of times, and unto diviners. But as for thee, talk about Israel, the Lord thy God hath not suffered thee to do so. So we're not supposed to go into these. This is heathenistic right here. Yet this is made by the sun. All this is sun worshiping, man. Sun worshiping, moon synergies. This is the shit we're battling, man.
Stonehenge on the morning of the spring equinox 2014. Behind me is Rollo and the Druids having a
over here it is, that's the spring equinox, right? Jeremiah 10. Hear ye the word of the Lord speaking unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed by them. Right? Paganism, right? Moon worshiping, sun worshiping, paganism. Why are people not supposed to be going into that? But our people are into that. Here it is, you have the spring equinox, right? The celebrating of the second harvest. That's a heathen custom, man. Because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua didn't choose these these Edomites. These Edomites, these devils, man. He chose the Israelites. And we're not supposed to be going into these holidays, man, of America. These wicked, pagan, satanic holidays. But our people do so. And they think it's cute. Not knowing you're invoking them spirits and putting them curses in your house, man. And the trick or treat gonna be the sacrifice. You just put a curse and hex upon you and your family. Here it is, Christmas is coming too. You wonder why so many people get killed around Christmas and houses get burned down. The Lord is telling you right there. I'm going to keep reading, man. It goes into it. For the customs of the people are vain, like Christmas, Halloween. For one cut off a tree out of the forest, the work out the hands of the workmen with the axe. You cut the tree with the axe for Christmas. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. You nail the tree down for Christmas, which goes back to Nimrod too, another pagan holiday. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also it has in them to do good. So all these pagan holidays, they all reincarnated, man. Christmas, Halloween, Samhain, goes back to Nimrod. All right? Here it is, freaking Thanksgiving. That's coming up. Starting of our people. Another blood sacrifice to the Native American Indians in Plymouth Rock. The tribe of Gad and Reuben, man. The Seminole Indians, man. Then you have Christopher Columbus, the start of the Taínos, the Dominican Republic, the tribe of Simeon. All these is evil, blood, satanic, pagan holidays. But you people going to worship it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. That's okay. Because there's a lot of death coming, man. These devils are doing their witchcraft and sorcery, and they're about to implement their New World Order. And they're going to kill a lot of people in the process of implementing their New World Order. This blood, Satan requires a blood sacrifice. Even Aaron Russo said it to John Rockefeller. Why you want to chip people? You're rich. Why you want to do these things? Rockefeller said, don't worry about that. Worry about your own family. And Aaron Russo was an Israelite, man. John Todd said it too. He actually saw Rothschild having dealings with spiritual demon Satan, man, in the villas. This thing is very real, man.
Ceremony here, ushering the sun up. It's a bit
The sun up.
But this is like the new Stonehenge, really. They've just blocked off the road towards the A303. And it's the first time I've seen it.
And they take it serious. They'll block you up. When they do the Bohemian Grove, Northern California, they block you